It's Grandma Roseanne's Kitchen, and welcome back because we are going to make the very best fried chicken sandwich you've ever eaten in your entire life. So we're going to start out with what I'm going to use as a seasoning for the chicken. I'm starting out here with 3 cups of flour. Now, don't worry about writing these ingredients down because I'm going to have them listed over on the description side. But what I have here in this beautiful, beautiful plate, I have 3 tablespoons of white pepper, 1 tablespoon of black pepper, 1 tablespoon of celery salt, 1 tablespoon of granulated garlic, and here's the surprise, 1 tablespoon of ground ginger. Who would have ever thought? 1 tablespoon of Italian seasoning, 1 tablespoon of baking powder because we do want some lift in there, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And you might think, well, Roseanne, why are you using such a small amount of salt in comparison to all of the other seasonings? There's a secret coming, so stay tuned and you will see it in a moment. Now, in my bowl, I have 3 cups of flour. I'm going to dump everything in there. And then I want to give it a really good whisk. Ooh, it smells good. Now we're going to set this aside and we're going to work on the chicken. And we're going to put our chicken into a brine. Typically, I have always done a brine with water and salt. And it's good. But this, with buttermilk and salt, is outrageous. So we want 2 cups of buttermilk. And 1 tablespoon of salt. This is why we only used a 1/2 teaspoon of salt in the dry mix. And we do want to whisk this and make sure that that salt is dissolved. And now we're going to set that aside and we're going to work with the chicken. Typically, I would use, well, always, you don't want the bone in it, obviously, but I would typically use it with a skin on, except that when I went to my freezer, all I had was boneless, skinless chicken breast. So I'm not going to go to the store again. What we're going to do is just deal with it this way. It's still going to be delicious. Trust me. The chicken is very thick. It really is a huge chicken breast. So I'm going to put it in a bag and I'm going to pound it down a little bit. And we just want to flatten this out because you don't want a huge piece of chicken in a sandwich. All right, I didn't show you the entire pounding out process, but let me tell you, my arm is sore. This was a fat chicken. Okay, now you see that we are evenly thickness in here because when we started, we had a very high edge over here and a very low one here. Now we're even all the way. I'm making 2 sandwiches. One is for my nephew. He doesn't even realize that this is coming towards him. And I'm just going to cut this straight down the middle. No, look at that. It's going to be so good. I want to give this another whisk. Just making sure that salt is incorporated, dissolved rather. And it's going to go in there. We're going to make sure it's submerged. Now that we're completely submerged, I'm going to cover this with some plastic wrap. Okay, our chicken is marinated for about 4 hours now. And I will also tell you, I'm a little bit sad that I didn't go out and just get chicken breasts that had the skin on it. because that skin is so good. So what I'll say to you is if you have the option, please get it with the skin on, all right? We have our dry seasoning here that we're going to use. I'm not going to use all of it simply because I'm only doing 2 pieces of chicken, and this is good. This is enough right here for a full chicken. So you've got, you know, drumsticks and wings and thighs and breasts and everything. So I keep the excess because I want it on hand all the time. So when I want to make fried chicken, I don't have to go out and start all over again with all the seasonings, okay? Just a time saver. Now we're going to want a little bit of this buttermilk in here. Just so it's moist. If you were using the whole chicken, it would be 6 to 8 tablespoons of buttermilk that you would add. Alrighty. So now we are just going to dip it in. And recipes always tell you to shake off the excess. We don't want to shake that off because we want those crunchy little pieces in there to really adhere to the chicken and crunch when it hits our mouth. And I'm adding just a little bit more to it. It's in the refrigerator and it's going to be there for about 20 minutes. And what that's going to do, it's going to adhere the breading to the chicken. Okay, we've had our 20 minutes in the refrigerator, so I did cut the ends off because I want them about the same size as the buns that I'm using. I have a deep fryer at 350 degrees. You're more than welcome to do it on a stove, whatever makes you happy, just so long as you get it fried. Just put them in ever so nicely. And this is where you would put its skin down first. Now don't worry about these little pieces. They are definitely going to be cooked and eaten. And whenever I'm working with chicken, I always use a thermometer. You want the internal temperature of your white meat to be at 165 and your dark meat, you want it at 175. And while that is frying, I've just got our garnish ready. So I have some lettuce, some red onion, and some tomato. And I'm getting ready to toast these deli buns. Just a little bit of butter on them. There, we are at temperature on both of these. Now I'm going to let them rest for just a couple of minutes here. They look delicious. And our rolls are done. So we are ready to plate. A little bit of mayonnaise. Add some of our lettuce. A little bit of onion. A little bit of tomato. And a nice big piece of chicken. What do you think? Now what I'm going to do with this chicken is I'm going to cut it in half simply because it's pretty thick. And it will make eating it so much more pleasant. think that is beautiful and manageable. So I'm going to call my nephew down. He can have this one and I will plate the next one. And I will say thank you for staying. Thank you for watching. Come back whenever you feel so inclined to do so. And hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell. We'll see you on the next video. Bye.